Well, hey crafty friends, it's Hiedi Scott with DiyDreaming, and on today's video we're gonna do some bright and happy abstract flowers on tea towels. And you guys, the cool thing about this is every single one is going to be unique. You don't have to know anything about painting because it's abstract. That gives you a lot of leeway. And after we heat set these, they will be usable and washable. So, super cool craft. And I just felt like doing something a little different and happy today. So I've been playing around for hours, figuring everything out, and I just am excited to show you everything. As you are hopping on, say hello. Let me know that I'm not just standing in my craft room talking to my cell phone. Feel free to ask questions, feel free to sprinkle, all that good stuff. Okay, so we're going to be using a couple different things today. We're going to start from the very beginning, and then we're going to finish one, and then I'll show you this first one that I made. Okay, so we're going to be using a variety of different colors of ink. This ink is from Magnolia Design Company, and it comes in a ton of different colors. And I know a lot of you guys like to do stenciling on fabric projects, just like I do. So probably a lot of you guys already have a few colors of ink. You can use what you have, grab a few more if you don't have the colors that you want. Anyways, we're going to be using that, and then we're going to be using my set of Magnolia ink pens. These are all ink pens. I cannot find my purple. Dang it! I don't know what I've done with it. It's here somewhere. But anyways, this is the ink marker set that we'll be using, and when I'm all finished, I'll get you guys links to everything. Okay, so we're going to be using tea towels. The first two that I just showed you were this kind. These are from Walmart. They're in the craft section. They're called Craft Basics. They are 18 by 28. These ones were white. They're in the crafting section by the embroidery hoop, that kind of stuff. And they're around $4 or $5 for a pack of 2. Okay, I don't have any more of this kind. So now we're going to use this kind. These are called kitchen towels. Stitch them up. They're the same dimension, 18 by 28. They're 100% cotton. These are natural color. So they're a little bit more creamy than the white. I don't know if you can tell. But this is what I have, so this is what I'm going to show you on. These ones, I'm pretty sure I picked these up at Joann's. Okay? So you can use any kind of tea towel you want. I do recommend that you use something that is cotton and that has a pretty tight weave, not the super thin flour sack towels, okay? Because I don't know how those will hold the ink, and also I don't know how those will be to work with. But these are good. This one is not quite as good as the first ones, but I'm using what I have. Okay, so find the end of your tea towel that would be the side that you would, if you're going to hang it on your oven door, find that side. And most of these 18 by 28s, they have one of these little loops. And they also have these darn tags that I just cannot stand. So cut that off first thing. Okay, and then really, you just have to decide, get an idea of what you want your design to look like. Usually I've been putting a bigger flower or a couple bigger flowers in the center and then smaller ones out to the side. So let's mix up some inks. Okay, I have on my little palette from Dollar Tree some pink, a couple greens. This is the red. This is blue, and then blue mixed with white. This one right here is called Sangria, and then I have orange. But like I said before, you can use absolutely any color you want. And I'm just going to use some distilled water. So I'm just going to get each one of these a little bit wet. And then I'm using Cruddy paintbrushes. Okay, and let's start in the center and let's do like a big flower. And then we'll do some smaller ones off to the side. And I'll show you all of that. Okay, so let's start with a red and pink in the center. So you guys can see. I also don't want to get it on my tea towel. So I'm just, getting some colors on my brush. And I'm going to do like a loopy kind of flower in the center. So I'm just going to do the outline of it. And what I want to tell you as I'm getting started here is that there's absolutely nothing that you need to do to prepare your tea towels. You don't have to iron them beforehand. You don't need to spray them with anything. There's nothing you need to do to prepare them. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of go over my little shape just a little bit. Some more water. And here's another little bit of advice. Before you start, don't have any specific thing in your head. Other than that, maybe you're going to do a loopy flower and then a bunch of round ones, which I'll show you how to do that in a second. Because then it will be a pleasant surprise what you end up with. Where if you start with some specific thing in mind and it doesn't go that direction, I mean, none of mine turned out the way I thought they would, then you might be disappointed, and I don't want you to be disappointed by your projects. Okay, so I'm just gonna color in a little bit to the outside of the petals. And the last little bit is where it gets fun, when we use the ink markers on it. So if it looks unfinished, just wait till you use the ink markers. Okay, so here's the start of my flower. Now I'm going to add some orange because I love that combination of orange and red. And let me see, what can I do here? Let's scooch this way. Let me get some paper towels to put underneath this. So if you're super curious and you want to look right now, while I'm doing this, my website is magnoliadiy.com. But when I'm all finished, I'll get you guys direct links so you don't have to hunt anything down. Okay, so we're going to do some orange now. This morning on DiyDreaming, I posted a bunch of pictures from Pinterest of kind of abstract flowers that were giving me some inspiration this morning. I didn't end up copying anything exactly, but it was helpful to get some ideas. I hope I like this. But you just never know. Okay, let's switch. And I just have a little mason jar with water over here off camera. Let's do some blue in the center. What the heck? I don't know how that's going to look, but let's do something different. I'm just doing kind of a jiggity jaggedy. Okay, I'm gonna lift this up and show you. That looks like a tie-dye flower almost. Okay. Now I'm gonna lay it down and I'm gonna pat it dry just a little bit. Or press it dry. Okay, let's move on to some flowers next to it. And I'm gonna do these round and I'll show you how those work. So let's use some of this sangria, which is a really pretty color. It's this, it doesn't look like sangria. I don't know what it looks like. It looks like a purpley pink, almost like a purpley fuchsia color. It's really pretty. Okay, and I'm gonna do just a big round one here. And then I'm gonna do a big round one down here. Can you see what I've got going on? So we'll run through this part and then we'll move on to some that I've been working on that are ready for the next step in just a minute. Okay, so to do these round flowers, basically what you want to do is lay down your first color, darker on the outside, lighter on the inside. And then think about what color you want to bring on next. And I'm just going with what I've got in my little tray here. Let's do some orange. I love orange, in case you didn't know that. Okay, and I'm just going to do like I don't know, like commas. Just to get some color in here. Okay, and here's a disclosure. I am not artistic at all. So, if you're thinking, oh my gosh, this looks like fun, but there's no way I could do it, please don't feel that way because I don't have the first clue what I'm doing. I'm just doing something just for fun, just to have some happy flower projects. Okay, and let's grab some pink. And just lay that in there. And I'm going to put a little pink on this one that I'm going to show you in a few minutes. I spent a little more time, you know, thinking about my flowers and doing more details on them, but and I'll show you all that. I'll point everything out, but you don't have to have anything in particular in mind. Okay, let's do some blue ones, blue circles. This is like the blind leading the blind. But I think sometimes it's fun to just experiment, especially if you have some of these supplies already. I mean, you can do stenciled tea towels. I'll pick up a couple and show you in just a second. Yeah, I do those all the time, but sometimes I like to use the supplies that I have in kind of a different way. Like, let's see, here's a tea towel. This I use the red. Today is a good day to have a good day. So you can use stencils and ink to create tea towels. You can also just do something different sometimes. Okay, let's grab some of this light blue. Bring that in here. And the light blue I've created with the navy and some white ink. Okay, and I'm sure there's people out there watching who are wondering, what is ink for? Ink is for ceramics and for fabric, and it needs to be heat set to be permanent. It's completely different from chalk paste, in case you're wondering. They're completely different things. They have completely different uses. So, for example, you couldn't do this project using chalk paste because there would be no way to make it permanent. And the first time you washed it, it would come up. Also, it would probably come off all over your hands if your hands were wet and you were going to use it on there. I don't think there's any amount of clear matte sealer spray that you could put on a fabric with chalk paste to make it permanent. I just don't. So, yeah. Okay, let's do a little bit of, let me think. How about some green? I'm just mixing my two colors of green. This is where this project starts to become a little abstract. And I'm just doing like commas. Okay, so let me hold this up. Can you see how that's got green and dark blue and light blue in there? Let's do some leaves now real quick. And just looking for a stiffer brush. You can do any style of leaf you want. Just put my leaves on here and then we'll paint them. Okay, so that is kind of what it looks like right now. We're going to just go ahead and paint those in. I'm going to use a mixture of these two greens that I have out. For my actual artist friends out there watching, I don't know. If you have any tips that you'd like to suggest, that would be great. But sometimes it's fun just to experiment. That's what this is. Okay, what kind of paint am I using? And did I use a stencil? No, I didn't use a stencil. I was just explaining that these are Magnolia, DIY.com inks. Okay, and I've just diluted them a little bit so they're kind of like a watercolor ink. Ink is for fabric. And I just freehanded these flowers. We're gonna do some of my signature dots and squiggles and that kind of fun thing in just a minute. And when I'm all finished, I will get links for anyone who wants them. I'm using a different pin set today than what I usually use. I usually use this pin set that has both ink and chalk paste in it, but it only has 4 colors of each: gold, silver, black, and white. This one has colors, this set that I'm going to use here. Okay, so this would be the basic. And like I said at the beginning, everyone is so completely different. It's really kind of a surprise. Let's just give it a little bit of heat. Actually dry pretty quickly. So I'm going to set this over here so I don't mess it up. And let's come back. Anything on here? Okay, let's come back to this one that I painted before I came live. And this one I did, you know, like I said, I'm no artist. But I did the leaves, and I did pink, orange, and blue, basically, and kind of a purpley color are my flowers. So now what we want to do is add all the fun stuff to it. And okay, so let me tell you what I did. So this is completely dry, and also I used a hot iron to heat set it. So this right here could be washed as it is, and it would be permanent. Oh, I'm so glad you like these projects. Okay, but, and it's pretty right now. I could leave it like this, but I want to play a little bit more, so let's play. Okay, we're going to be using these, and I really wish I could find my purple. These are permanent ink markers from Magnolia, DIY.com. And in this set, there's black and white, green, red, blue, pink, and purple. But I can't find my purple. Okay. And I'm going to use a paper plate just to get my markers flowing. Okay, so I could outline the whole thing in black, or we can use some of the different colors, and I thought it would be fun to use some of the different colors. So let's start with the green, and we'll just play and see what we think. I like it. Ooh, I like it. I'm easily tickled. So I'm just doing real fine wispy lines on these leaves. This one I did, I don't know, a little bit more design, like this center flower. It was also my second one. And I'll hold this up in just a second, because what I want you to notice is that I'm not drawing exactly a line around the leaves. Okay, can you see that one right there? This one right here. And this is all completely personal preference. And also, you just have to play around and see what you like. So we've got our leaves. Let's put a little bit of something fun on these blue flowers that have the green in them. Add some little dot, dot, dots. You can never go wrong with dot, dot, dots. See, I did just some like almost commas, and then I did 3 dots on one side of each flower petal. Let's go and do this other one now, because I'm going to make the flowers match from one side to the next. It does make them pop. I wish you could see these in person. How long will they last? Okay, I'll tell you a secret, Mary. At my house, these will last for, they'll last forever. You can wash and dry them a zillion times, but at my house, they'll look pretty for about 2 weeks, and then my husband will pull one of these out of the drawer and decide to clean the coffee maker with it. He just will. That is what he always does. So I'm over it. I don't even get upset about it anymore. Because I figure I can make more tea towels anytime I want. I'm gonna lay my hand. Okay, that's very, very, very abstract. And I know it's upside down, but I can't do abstract painting when it's upside down to me. I'm very sorry. Let me just adjust my lights here a little bit. Okay. So, what do you guys think? Hey, Lorraine. What do you think? Sometimes I just want to do something completely different, you know? I don't know. Let's use a little bit of this pink on these orange flowers. And we can also use some of it on the pink flowers. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just doing something. Something similar on this one. Just kind of traced the outline of this flower. Did a couple of little big commas. Did some big dot, dot, dots. And it's pretty subtle because this is pink over the top of orange. Adding a little bit more pink so that you can see it. Okay, let's see. What should we do? Let's try some blue. see what this looks like if we add blue to the outside of this. Oh, pretty. Ooh, I like it. Sometimes you'll get a little bit on your hands. That's okay. I don't want to get that on my project though, so let me get a wipe. Mary says she wants these. You can, do you spray even dried and done to keep the ink permanent? No ma'am, Judy, you do not. You don't spray this. These are going to be washed in the washing machine and dried in the dryer. So we're going to heat set these using our hot iron and they'll be permanent. This is ink that I use to paint the flowers. It's from Magnolia. They have a ton of different colors. I'll get links when I'm all done just to the inks and you can go and look and see what colors appeal to you. That's what I painted with. And then these are ink pins, also from Magnolia, and they're the same deal. You heat set them and they become permanent. Let's try a little red. If you don't like dot, dot, dots like I do, you don't have to do that. That's just my thing. Okay, there's one of those big pink ones at the top, and now I'll do, let's see what we can do with this one. All right, so now let me dry this just a little bit and then we'll try a little white, okay? And then I'll show you the one that I did before with just black. This is really pretty, if I don't say so myself. I'm not going to do black outlining on this one because I just want to show you how it can look so different. But we're going to use the white marker. Oh, and by the way, these markers come with two tips. There's a rounded one, which is the one I use the most, and then there's also a chisel-y one. Agatha, I'm so glad you caught me live. And hey, Kathy. Okay. What are we doing? Do something with this one. Sometimes when you're going a light colored marker like the white over the top of a darker color, you might need to kind of outline it twice. That adds a lot to that dark colored flower. All right, let's do just some little white dots in the center of this guy, this gal. And priming my pin a little bit. Like we could really do something with these guys. Oh my goodness. Wow. That turned out super duper cute. Okay, let's do the same thing over here. Okay, and I would probably say that I should resist the urge to keep going on and on and on, because this is pretty darn cute. What do you guys think? Do you like it? What do you think? Would this be cute hanging over an oven door in a kitchen? It just says happy. Happy, happy, happy. Just when I think you're done, you add another special touch. I tell you what, you guys, these markers, they add so much. I just can't even believe it. Okay, so now I'm going to show you what I did to this one. And this was the first one that I did, so I really wasn't even sure what I was doing. So I outlined, basically, the leaves on this one. And then on this one, I did dot, dot, dots around the edge. And on these flowers, I put like a little dot at the end of each petal. And for these, I just kind of did commas all the way around. You could add a little white to this. Let's do that. What the heck? Let's add just a little bit of white and see what that does. But if the first one looks terrible, I will You do not have to be artistic to do dot, dot, dot. Okay, I just added a little bit of white, and I think it looks pretty cute. So let's go back to this one that we just did, and let's just talk for a minute. This is not fully dry. So when it is fully dry, what I will do is I will get my ironing board out. Yeah, I think it's still a little bit wet. So let me dry it just a second and then I can show you the actual next step. You could do pillows and you could do huge flowers instead of these little ones. Oh my gosh, that would be super fun. Oh, and Magnolia has some great pillow forms that are sort of an off-white, really thick woven, super nice pillows. And you get 2 in a package for, I can't remember exactly what the price is, but it's a really good deal, I thought. Hi Dee, hey Linda, hey Kirk. Okay, so I'm going to say that this is basically dry enough. It's not 100%, but it's not going to die. And I'm just going to use my plain old iron. I also have a little one, but I'll just use this one because it's handy. So, this is parchment paper, which is what I like to put in between my iron and the ink. Let me explain what is happening in this step. Okay, this is not a scientific explanation, but this is how I understand it. These inks feel like they almost have something that is like a plastic in them. And when you heat set a fabric with a hot iron, it's like it's melting this ink that feels like it has a little plastic to it. It's melting that into the fibers of your fabric. So when you wash, it's like, it's part of the whole thing. You can see a few little spots are coming out just a bit because it wasn't fully dry. I have my iron set on cotton. Whatever is the hottest temperature that your fabric will be okay with. And this is cotton, so cotton is fine, no steam. And I would just spend a couple of minutes going over. I need a new piece of parchment paper. What do you guys think? Mine is in terrible shape. This is my ironing parchment paper that stays in my craft room. So I would do one side of it, and then I would just flip it over, and I'm going to iron directly on this side. And I'm just further, like almost melting this ink, which is for fabric and ceramics. So with ceramics, when you use it, you put it in a hot oven, it essentially like almost melts, merges into the ceramic. A lot of ceramics that people try to do are super glossy, and so the ink doesn't have the ability to fully go into the pores of the ceramic. So if you want to do like some mugs or something, look for mugs that are not super shiny, that are more matte and not super high gloss. And that is what will work the best. If you guys like this project, did you freehand the flowers? Yes, I did. And Brenda, when I'm all done, you might want to go back and watch this video from the start because I tell you everything that there is to know about it. And I show you some of the basic, I'm not an artist, I show you some of the basic techniques. We did this one live with just some simple shapes. This is like this flower petal, and these are just circles. Okay. So, I would probably let this dry a little bit longer, and then I will start fiddling around with it. And what I want to know from you guys, I think I'm going to use all the different colors like I did with this one. Look how cute that is. I think personally I like this better than this, but it's just personal preference. So I will get pictures of everything. I'll put them in these comments as well as just on DiyDreaming, and so that you can look close up. It would be a great project for your grandkids to do. You just supervise and get everything ready for them. And you know what you could also do is get some coloring books, and you could use those as your idea. And if you wanted, you could possibly use a very light pencil on your fabric to kind of draw your design before you get started. I'm not sure how that would work, what the pencil would do when you paint over the top of it, but that is an option. So I hope you liked these projects, and you saw how versatile, how super versatile the Magnolia inks are. You can use them for stenciling. You can also use them for doing something totally freehand. They have a ton of great colors. Oh my gosh, they have so many great colors. And also I hope you saw how super versatile this set of ink markers is. There's also a purple that comes in it, but I can't find mine. Anyways, if you have questions, let me know. If you want links, just say link in the comments, and I'll drop it throughout. A direct link to the inks and a direct link to these markers. And I'll be glad to get that for you, or anything else. Use a friction fabric pen, that's a great idea. Dora says she is inspired. Yeah, so if you liked this, I would really love it if you would sprinkle this video to your social media, to your personal Facebook page, or if you're in any crafting groups. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'm going to go hop off. I'm going to go sit down, and I'm going to read all of your comments, and I'll get you the information that you would like, and I will see you guys.